order, Robbie Moore.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I wonder if I could seek your guidance. It's now been 36 days since the Home Secretary came to the dispatch box to give a statement on the possibility of a national grooming gangs inquiry. Indeed, it's been 7 months since the Home Secretary was at the dispatch box back in January, indicating that there was going to be 5 local gang rape inquiries. Now, this is causing a huge amount of concern for many victims, many survivors of this heinous crime, Madam Deputy Speaker. And yet, here we are on the last day before recess, and there has not been an update provided by the Home Secretary at the dispatch box as to the timings, who the independent chair will be, the funding arrangements, dare I say, whether or not Keighley and the Bradford district will be included. So, can I seek your guidance before the end of the day? Understanding orders, is there any mechanism for you, Madam Deputy Speaker, to ensure that the Home Secretary comes to the dispatch box before the end of the day to provide an update on a national grooming gangs inquiry?
I thank the honourable member for his notice of his point of order. I've got to say I've received no notice from ministers that they intend to make a further statement on this matter, but ministers on the front bench will have heard his point of order. Point of order, Alison Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I submitted a number of parliamentary questions to the Department for Health and Social Care on the subject of the Independent Commission into Adult Social Care at the start of this month. A number of these questions, despite being due for answer on the 7th of this month, remain entirely unanswered as of today, the 22nd of this month. On another example, the Department has declined to estimate the number of hours spent on the Commission by the Department since July 2024, on the grounds that the cost of such an estimation would be too great. I would like to ask your advice, Madam Deputy Speaker, as to how I can get these questions answered for the benefit of my constituents and so that I can fulfil my duty in holding the Government to account. Thank you.
I am very grateful to the honourable member for giving notice of her point of order. The timeliness and adequacy of answers to written questions are not matters for the Chair, but all honourable members are entitled to expect full and helpful answers on time. She might like to raise the matter with the Procedure Committee, who I know take a close interest in these matters. Point of order, Sir John Hayes.
Grateful, Madam Deputy Speaker. You will know that long ago, indeed before we were born, tens of thousands of young men were sent to a far-off place to witness the first British nuclear tests. Ever since, some of us have been campaigning for their interests, and indeed the Government earlier this year announced there would be a review into the blood and urine tests that were taken at the time of those tests. You will appreciate, Madam Deputy Speaker, the significance of that, because of course the risk is of radiation poisoning. The Government have said that review will be published, but we've no clarity about when. There are tens of thousands of these records, and they are being examined as we speak. Have you had any notice from ministers they will come to the House with an interim report? For these men are now elderly. They are dying, of course, because of their age by the week and month. But I, along with the member for Salford and their descendants, will not give up this fight. It is vitally important the Government are clear about when these tests will be published. And I wonder, Madam Speaker, if you could help in that regard.
I thank the honourable member for the notice of his point of order. I've received no notice from ministers that they intend to make a statement on this matter. He has, however, placed his point on the record. Presentation of Bill, Alison Bennett.
Unpaid Carers Respite and Support Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday, the 12th of September.
Friday, the 12th of September. Presentation of Bill, Tessa Munn.
Waste Tyres Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday the 5th of September.
Friday the 5th of September. We now come on to the 10-minute rule motion. Blair McDougall.
Thank you. I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to make provision to remove Crown immunity as it applies to prisons for the purposes of health and safety legislation. Madam Deputy Speaker, Katie Allen lived in Clarkston in East Renfrewshire. She had a loving family and a very happy childhood. She was bright, she did well at school. She took herself off to Malawi to volunteer, and she returned from Africa determined to help people. And instead of studying geology at university as she'd intended, she switched to study human geography. She decided and realised that it was people she cared about and not rocks. She was excited about the future. She'd moved into her own flat. She was full of life. She was beautiful. She was loved. She was found hanging in a cell at 10 to 6 in the morning on the 4th of June 2018 at His Majesty's Prison and Young Offenders Institution, Polmont. Madam Deputy Speaker, the problem of prison deaths is UK-wide, but these losses are a particular problem in Scotland, and the loss of young people in prisons is felt especially. Research in April by the Scottish Centre for Crime and Justice Research found that our prison death rates are akin to those in Azerbaijan. An earlier study by the Council of Europe found Scotland's prison suicide rate was more than 2.5 times higher than the average, and about double that of England and Wales. I began with Katie's story because focusing on her case helps make sense of why this problem is so alarming, so acute and so avoidable. In 2017, after a night out, Katie drove home after drinking. She clipped the curb, lost control of her car. She hadn't realised it, but she had hit and injured a pedestrian. She had no previous convictions. Her victim asked for her not to be given a custodial sentence, but she was jailed for 16 months anyway. If anyone deserved a second chance after a stupid, youthful mistake, it was Katie. But that second chance was taken away because of failings by the Scottish Prison Service. We cannot mention Katie without also mentioning William Brown, who my honourable friend, the member for Glasgow North, represents. William also died from suicide in Polmont. The fatal accident inquiry into the loss of both of these precious young people found their deaths to be preventable. Thanks to the Sheriff's findings, the failings of the prison service in these cases are now well documented, they're detailed and they're damning. But one thing out of the 400-page report, its many findings and its recommendations especially sticks in my mind. When we look into prison suicides, we learn